Hi, yogis. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Amber, and I'm happy to have you here today for our restorative practice. A wonderful opportunity to relax and release and just hang out in your beautiful body and just be. It's a good thing. So what we need today are the usual suspects: your blocks or books, blankets or towels, maybe a bolster if you have one, or a firmer cushion. And then the chair, if you would like to grab, if you have a folding chair or an outdoor chair that you can bring in, or even a kitchen chair that you can kind of fold yourself over in a seated position. We're going to do a variation of supported child's pose. That would be really amazing. If not, you can certainly use a recliner if you happen to be practicing in your living room, or a couch, anything, even an ottoman, anything that you can rest over on. If you don't have that accessible to you, then we'll just do a supported child's pose. So don't worry, it'll all work out. So our first position is going to be constructive resting pose. Who knew that you could be so constructive while you're resting? So taking a blanket or a towel and rolling up nicely. So this is going to rest right in the back of the neck to support the head. And then I just left this out on mine to give my shoulders a little extra padding. Yogi's choice. So go ahead and rest back. We're just gonna draw rest the neck right on top of that nice little lump there. And then we're gonna widen our feet to the outsides of the mat. Knees are bent. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna drop the legs in towards one another. So you're gonna rest your thighs against each other. Now note the placement of your feet. See what feels best. Like mine feels better when it's up a little bit higher, but you might like your feet down, or you might like it even a little bit closer up. Pay attention to the knees, making sure they're comfortable. And then we don't want any strain either. So wherever you rest the legs, just be sure that you can really just eliminate any kind of tension or holding. And then you're going to place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. You can rest the arms out, the elbows out if you want, nice and long. Closing the eyes. And then we'll just wait a few moments, just breathing as everybody gets caught up. And I'll just ask you to kind of tune into the heart. Maybe you can feel the heart beating. And then when you're able, you can close the eyes if you haven't already. And of course, the option to look at the ceiling is always there. But here we find a connection to the breath and the body. And we do this by feeling into the palms of our hands. And as you inhale, you'll feel the chest and the belly rise and expand. And as you exhale, softly contract. And just notice how quick this connection happens from the point of the breath entering into the nose to when the belly and the chest start to rise. And here I am going to ask that you begin to unpack whatever it is, if there is anything. Maybe you dreamt about something last night that you just can't shake off. Maybe you went to bed angry last night, or a little frustrated, or you were watching the news and it was unsettling. It's all understandable. It's hard to sometimes recognize what is happening around us. And even if we feel like we are okay when we take on or when we see these things or witness them, sometimes internally we tend to hold on to things. It's said that any trauma that we have in our lives, our body holds on to, which is insane, but it makes sense. And so I offer this opportunity when you're in your safe space, wherever that is, and maybe it's just one thing that you choose, one thing that you decide to unpack. You can put it in a box if you want. You can put it in an envelope and ship it to Terre Haute or Siberia, to the moon, and just let it go. And you know, even if it's just for the next 5 minutes, maybe next time it'll be for 7 minutes, and then 10 minutes, and then 15 minutes. And then before you know it, it's not going to be a burden any longer. It won't feel as big as it felt for however long you felt it. Give yourself that permission to let it go. You don't always have to hold on to everything. Big things, little things. See if you can find something to package up and send away, or put in your closet, or just maybe push it 5 feet away from you. Give yourself this opportunity to feel liberated from whatever it is. And then breathe into that big, deep breath. I can let go. You can say it to yourself or say it out loud. Do it as many times as feels good, as many times as it takes to feel that space start to open up, kind of like spring cleaning, as you connect the breath with the body. Releasing any tension from the space around the eyes. Softening the jaw. Relaxing through the neck and the shoulders. Making adjustments if you need to. Feeling the length of the spine being supported by your mat and Mother Earth. And then making sure you feel no tension in the legs, all the way down to the feet. Let it go. Take as many deep inhales and exhales you need. And if you start to feel emotions come up, just let it happen. It's your body really letting something go, and it's something that's so special. Staying with your breath. Just enjoying these moments that you have with yourself. This quiet time that you deserve. Checking out from daily tasks, daily news, our monkey minds. Breathing in and out. And let the breath start to deepen a little. You can stretch the hands out towards the feet and draw the feet into center. And then draw the knees into the chest. And just find a gentle side to side. And so our next shape is very simple. You are going to stay on the upper body exactly where you are. If you want to, you can move the blanket out of the way, or you can adjust it with a pillow. And I'd like for you to take your bolster, or you can put up a couple of blocks. And we're gonna do our right side first, and I'm gonna do it away from the camera so you can see how my legs are laying. So we're just going to kind of shift the hips over to the left just a little bit, and you're just gonna let the legs drop on top of your bolster. So we're not aiming for a deep twist here. And it may not really feel like a twist at all if you're loose down here. But I just want the knees to rest gently on top of your bolster or pillow, whatever you choose. It can be as, I want it to be pretty high though. And then you're gonna take your right rib cage and you're gonna kind of scoot it over to the side a little bit, just to kind of get a little bit flatter through the shoulders, and then relax the arms out. So just a baby twist here. And then come back to closing the eyes. and finding the breath. If it helps to rest your one hand on heart, one hand on belly, you can certainly do that. Coming back to the breath, feeling the spaciousness that you have found with your packing away of little things. And again, moving in to soften through the face. Relaxing in the shoulders. And remember, if something doesn't feel right, you can certainly make adjustments. Letting the belly feel soft after each breath. Sinking the back into the mat. Listening to the breath. Breathing into any spaces that may feel a little uncomfortable. Maybe sending them a few words that everything is all right. Finding and keeping that soft connection to the breath as you let your muscles in your face relax. When you're ready, let the breath start to deepen. You can gently rock the head from side to side, and then when you're ready, you're just gonna make the connection to the floor with the soles of the feet, and slowly bring your knees back to center, knees bent. You're gonna center your bottom in the middle of the mat, and this next one, all we're gonna do is come into supported cobbler's pose. Soles of the feet together, and maybe you use whatever you had on the right side to support your leg, but add something to the left side. You're going to stay exactly where you are in your back. You're just going to find this awesome support for the legs. And then maybe on this one, we take both hands to the belly, drawing in a deep breath to the low belly, all the way up. And exhale. Maybe you remember filling up the glass from our last restorative class. You can imagine that your torso is a glass of water and the belly is the base and your shoulders is the mouth of the glass. And as you breathe in, you fill that glass up with water all the way up. And release. Or maybe instead of water, you fill it up with Kool-Aid or wine or beer. Or maybe love. Why not? Fill it up with the color red. And then release. And then keep finding these deep, nourishing breaths until you finally feel that you can completely release in the legs, through the upper body, You're not holding any tension in the shoulders, the arms. Your neck feels relaxed. Any tension between the eyebrows dissipates, and the jaw relaxes. As you allow yourself with each exhale to melt a little bit more into the floor. Coming back to the breath if the mind begins to wander. Following the trail of the breath as it comes into the nostrils until the belly rises. And you exhale and release. Begin to deepen the breath. And all we're going to do is let the legs come out long. So stretch them out long on the mat. Maybe bring the feet a little bit wider on the mat so you can fully let the toes relax out to the side. You can fully let the knees relax. And I invite you to just rest here for a minute. If you want, you can indulge in a big stretch, or you can just find stillness. And when you're ready, we're just going to bring the knees into the chest, give them a little hug. If you want, you can draw the forehead up towards the knees, find a little stretch in the shoulders, a gentle rock from side to side. And then you're just going to roll to one side and nice and, oh, no, stay down, sorry. We actually have to do a little twist to the other side, to the left. So take your props from your right side, lay them on the left side. Again, we're not aiming for a deep twist here. And once you draw the legs onto your prop, you can take your left ribs and kind of scoot them over to the left a little. Maybe kind of lift and open up the right arm out. Maybe try goalpost arms this time. And then come back to your breath. Notice if anything feels a little different on the side. Maybe it feels a little tighter, maybe a little looser. Maybe you find you have to position the legs a little differently to find comfort. Relaxing into the shoulders. Softening the face as you breathe. Maybe this time for a little while you focus on the sound of the breath. Coming back to the breath. Begin to deepen the breath. When you're ready, very slowly drawing the knees back to center, centering the hips on the mat, and then stretching the arms out to grab the knees and just find a gentle rock from side to side. And then when you're ready, rolling to one side once again, making your way into a seated position. And you're going to face your chair, or you're going to start getting set up for supportive child's pose. So I'll cover chair first, and then I'll do supportive child's. So if you have a chair like mine where you can put your legs through, I suggest maybe sitting on a bolster or a pillow, and then taking a blanket and putting it underneath your legs for a little extra support here, maybe underneath your knees. And then on the chair, maybe you have another pillow, or you can put another blanket, and you're just going to lean forward. Make sure that your knees feel comfortable. If that doesn't feel good to you, we've got other options. Especially if you have a chair where you can't put your legs through, I still suggest sitting up on something and then coming into your cross-legged position and letting the hips be a little bit higher and then resting forward. So if the legs are straight, you're going to get a little bit more of a deeper hamstring stretch. And then if we're going to go ahead and come into our supported child's pose, which I'm sure you know this very well, you'll take your firmer bolster or blanket, and you can stack it up a little bit with blocks to kind of bring it a little bit closer to you. Knees are going to come around the outside of your bolster. You can even take a blanket, and this is really good for those that can't, that don't feel comfortable coming all the way down with the hips to the ankles or heels. And then you're just going to rest. You're going to do your best just to find a really nice space here where you can fully just relax. Breathing deeply. And maybe starting with one cheek, resting with one cheek, and halfway through the time, I'll tell you when to turn to the other cheek. Just finding comfort in a soft space to rest your head. Go ahead and turn the other cheek if you haven't already. Begin to deepen the breath. And very slowly start to bring yourself up. And make your way into Shavasana. So maybe you put your bolster under the knees, and then again we rest the blanket under the head. You can cover yourself up if the toes are a little chilly. And broaden the space underneath the shoulders. And then close your eyes. Let your breath soothe the body and the mind. Let the body sink into the mat. Be fully supported by your bolster, whatever it is that you're using, if anything, to support your body. Begin to deepen your breath. Exploring with a little bit of movement in the fingers and the toes. Gently rocking the head from side to side. And then when you're ready, rolling to one side, taking a few breaths. And then coming into a seated position, an upright position, whatever that means to you. Let's draw our hands to heart space. And always remember, if there's something that is bothering you that you're holding on to, you can always box it up and send it away, even if it's for 10 minutes. Thank you so much for being here today. Namaste.